You never know, honestly, sometimes when you're working with contractors, but I think you have to sort of just have a little faith, that it'll work out. And then being able to manage your contractor and manage expectations, I think is key too. So yeah, so it was a good deal where, I was initially running my numbers at maybe a 250 ARV, and I was like, okay, I think that's enough profit to get here. And ended up meeting with my realtor there, walking it, contractor, walking it, running all my numbers, making sure the comps were all good and everything. And when we closed on it, just got right to work. Ended up being a 6-week renovation project, I think.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cosmetic. I think it was like 35 grand worth of work. So it was like carpet, flooring, countertops, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So pretty straightforward. Yeah, and ended up being just pretty quick rehab, and put it on the market. We listed it at, I think, like 280 at that time, because the market had appreciated a little bit, and it was right as the post-COVID market just completely popped, that spring market. And so we ended up getting an offer at like 325. I'm an open book, and I'll talk about numbers. It's not in any way meant to be braggadocious or anything like that, but it kind of just paints a picture of, what opportunities are possible, I guess, in real estate, and gives context, I guess you can say. But I ended up making 90 grand net on that
incredible
deal. And
on your first deal?
On my first deal.
awesome.
And it was more than my salary as an OT at that time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it felt good.
I can just imagine like that conversation with your wife and your friends and family.
Yeah.
Like, not that you're going back and saying, the 90K figure, but
yeah,
just that big smile that you have on your face now is like, obviously you need to get the next deal now, but it's still validation.
It gave proof of concept.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And so, yeah, it was, I think I had like a 2-week close maybe even at that point.
That's
so
awesome.
it was like 8 weeks, just like, I was like, what? This is impossible. Like, this can't be real.
You mentioned some of your team, like you met with a realtor, you did this, you did that. I think you said contractor, and you said, I think one other, but how did you build this team? Was this through the networking and the people you would talk to?
It was,
like who you should work with?
The realtor was a connection that you actually introduced me to.
Okay.
Shout out to Kevin Curry. He's
Cool.
incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome.
here in Richmond. And contractor, I think it was from like a Facebook group actually, that like they were like a contractor looking to grow their business and stuff like that.
How did you vet that contractor? Or did you just get lucky that?
Called them, picked up on the first try there, had him walk the property, give me a quote. Again, shout out Patrick Harris, ended up being him.
Cool.
Yeah, who's a local investor here in Richmond, but he was running a contracting business. Showed up, wasn't drunk. Yeah, that's a positive, for contractors.
Yeah.
Not that all contractors do that.
Yeah.
But it's a sign that, he took it seriously. He was good.
Answering the phone and showing up is big enough. And you do have people answer the phone, show up, and they're on something. There's definitely a good mix of contractors, very good ones. I guess the same as in any industry, but you have to be very careful with that, especially if you're meeting on Facebook.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you got a good one.
Yeah, and you never know, honestly, sometimes when you're working with contractors, but I think you have to sort of just have a little faith, that it'll work out. And then being able to manage your contractor and manage expectations, I think is key too. So.